The Orioles, they traded Grayson Rodriguez to the Los Angeles Angels for outfielder Taylor Ward. Um, this one really caught me by surprise. I think there's like 10 different angles that we can probably go off of this story, but we'll start with your initial reaction.
Well, I was actually up last night when the little MLB.com notification came through, and I was very taken aback. Not because I couldn't see Grayson Rodriguez potentially getting traded down the line. It's just the Orioles are so like adverse to drafting or to trading any of their guys they draft. Like my whole argument last year was like Heston gone, Mayo gone, and they just wouldn't trade anybody, and they haven't for the last couple of years. So it would just, of all people to trade away, I did not see them trading away a pitcher.
I've always said this. There's two things. I say anytime you can trade for a 220 hitter, you have to do it. And anytime
Yeah,
you can subtract from a position of weakness, you have to do it. So they checked a bunch of boxes. This deal. Look, we'll start with some peripheral kind of background info. Grayson has not made a start for the O's since July of 2024. It's been a very long time since he's been on the bump for them. He had elbow surgery in August. In 2024, he had shoulder inflammation and then that lat that just never would go away. Taylor Ward, on the other hand, had a career high in home runs last year. He had 103 RBIs. He played almost a full season for the Halos. He's a right-handed bat. He's going to make like 13 mil this year. But you're right. It was very surprising to see them subtract from the 1-1 clear area of need for this team was starting pitching, and to take away somebody who we've been saying this for a couple of years now, but has all the upside of a frontline starting pitcher, to trade him away. Especially, the other thing with Grayson too is he has 4 more years of team control left. That blew me away. I didn't realize he had that much left.
he's been in the Orioles system since what 2018.
Yep, drafted by Duquette in 18.
I mean, his injury history is so extensive. I mean, you got to think the Orioles know more about his body than any team out there. So I think what this is telling me, whatever the team thinks, they think he's probably not going to be the same when he comes back. I mean, if we really want to sit through another year of watching him make maybe 5 starts and then have a lat strain the rest of the season,
Well, I thought his thing was like he would come back for like 2 months at a time, get hurt for a month, then come back and just like never have a complete stretch. It would just be like little spurts, and then he'd come back and then he'd limp into the injured list again. But I mean, this is like the prevailing like take online is like they must just think this guy's arm is gonna fall off. The only way that makes sense is if you think his health is just like a ticking time bomb. Um,
wasn't that one of the
so
big contributors to Tommy John? Is when you start getting a lot of strains and then you start trying to compensate, and then boom, there goes the ligament. You're getting another TJ.
it makes sense to me. He has the
Right?
body of a guy that like is durable though. He's a big
He's
dude.
huge. He's huge, dude. It's insane. The only thing that concerns me about the trade, like I really do like Taylor Ward. He's like a good, consistent player, stays healthy. I think he's got like a lifetime, like 250 average, 330 on base. It's going to get you 25 plus homers. But are they maybe selling or buying a little too high based off the previous season?
I've seen some people like look at he drove in 100 runs last year, and anytime don't give me a player evaluation stat, don't give me RBIs as like, oh look, he drives in a lot of runs. Like that is not the number you look at when you're like trying to determine if a player is good or not. I don't care if he drove in 100. That is so context situational dependent. Like that's just like a lazy fly ball to the outfield's an RBI. Don't give me that that's like a cool stat that we can use to like evaluate somebody. That drove me up a wall when I saw people saying that.
But is the fact that he did it on the Angels a little more impressive? Like, do they even have guys on base?
I mean, they have guys that Neto, like Trout is still there. They have D Shanuel's probably on base all the time. Like they have guys. So like sorry, that was just a quick aside. That pissed me off when I saw people like, oh, he
See,
drives in a lot of runs.
I disagree with your take on RBIs though, because it shows you if you got a guy on third, you're getting a fly ball in the air. A guy on second base, maybe you're punching it through the right side to move him up, potentially get him in. I think it's a lot harder to drive in 100 RBIs, but I do see what you're saying.
Clutch hitting is not like a separate skill from regular hitting. It's like
Fun
not.
fact: do you want to take a guess at who the Orioles' home run leader was last year?
Was it Westberg?
It was a trick question because it's a three-way tie. Gunnar, Westberg, and Holiday all hit 17 home runs. So I think
So
this is just an attempt from the Orioles to. I think what really hurt them last year was not having those 40 homers from Santander. And that's when
yes.
they were winning games, is when they were just out slugging everybody in, what was it, 24. So I think that's what they want to get back to.
Yeah, and like I understand he checks a lot of boxes. Ward does right-handed batter in a lineup of mostly lefties. Again, that's a result of Elias's drafting, so that's a problem he created. You're right, not having Santander, who I get was hurt this past year, but like hypothetically, if he was on the Orioles this year, he might not have missed all that time. So, um, yeah,
I'm thinking too of like the implications this has for like a dude like Tyler O'Neill because, shocker, he opts into his $15 million option.
general soreness.
General Soreness and Adley Rutschman, his lieutenant,
His trusted
always
lieutenant.
always hurt. But yeah, if I was O'Neill, I'd be a little concerned. It's like if I get hurt, this dude's gonna take my spot. I assume right now the lineup will probably be O'Neill right, Cowser in center, Ward in left.
But Kowser's like not good defensively in center, by the way. Yes, and it's
No,
the depth chart for Fangraphs is Ward in left, Beavers in right, Kowser in center, and
but you got
this.
Leody Taveras too, so that gives you he plays a good center field. So they're going to have some options in the outfield this year. Beavers. This is another situation where it's like they're getting all these guys from like Beavers came up was playing great last month of the year, but now does he have a spot? Is he going to get consistent playing time?
Is he gonna be a fourth outfielder playing once a week now?
We've already seen how that's ended up for dudes like Mayo, Heston, where they're just not getting consistent at bats. Same thing's going to happen to Beavers.
Oh, that's a good. I don't think I've heard anybody talk about that, but yeah, the impact of bringing Ward in, like Dylan Beavers was probably like, heck yeah, before this, like, dude, I'm gonna get like 130 games plus this year. I'm finally gonna get a let it eat. I'm 24, like this is my time.
Like when
Yeah,
Gunnar
now
and
he's.
Adley came up, like they were playing every single game because his team was so trash. But now they're in this weird phase where they bring up dudes like even Jackson Holiday, like Jackson, Mayo, Heston, Cowser was the same way when they brought him up initially too. It's like
Yep.
they're just not giving these. They'll play one game, sit two games. Doesn't seem
Because
good for development.
yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on that. That's officially a storyline I'm gonna follow this year with the Birds is Dylan Beavers' development. Because you're right, if General Soreness takes his spot, like what? Like it's just is it gonna be like Mayo where he's the fans are like having an outrage. They're like, this guy's hitting a buck 30. I thought he was supposed to be good. Meanwhile, he's playing once a month. So
They have all these like 4A merchants, dudes who had like Heston and Mayo rake in AAA. And then they get up to the majors and they're just like on a different planet in the batter's box.
I had this thought too with like getting rid of Grayson is like he's the last of the Dan Duquette guys. So like Elias has no allegiance because GMs usually I feel like have some sort of allegiance to their first round draft picks. It's why I feel like Heston will be here until the bitter end. Because like he drafted him, like he developed him, it's his guy. But like that's a Duquette guy, so I think that probably made it a little easier for him to be like, nah, we don't care.
Elias has a little too much, loyalty to his first round picks. Refuses to trade anybody.
Yep,
Could have
it
had could
all
have had Scooble. Could have had Crochet.
it all makes sense now. He doesn't want to get rid of them because those are his guys,
Except Grayson. We don't need
except
his latch
Grayson.
trains anymore.
And you know who else is a Duquette guy that probably is going to get canned this winter? Mountie.
Who? Oh yeah, he's gone.
Mountie's the most clear non-tender candidate of all time, unfortunately.
You can't have a first baseman who hits like 250 with 12 homers every year.
No power, unfortunately. Vertigo. Um, so I had another thought about just like the state of the rotation because like if you look at the depth chart right now, it's hilarious. It's Rogers and Bradish, which is fine. Dean Kramer is your number 3. Tyler Wells, who was hurt all year, is your 4, and then Cade Povich is your 5. So if their plan is to like patch the rotation with more 1-year stopgaps, more guys from Japan, more Charlie Mortons, like you can't. I think that has to go out the window now because Grayson was supposed to be your like hypothetically your middle-ish guy. So you got to go in the deep end. You got to go get a Michael King, a Framber, somebody.
Yeah, I think Michael King is probably the most. I think we'll go after him hard. Cease, I don't know about him because I feel like the last couple of years, it's always been like Cease and the Orioles trade talks,
Yep.
and then Orioles never pulled the trigger. So I don't think they really like him that much. Um, I don't know. Bradish coming back, he that could be good. Um, I don't know. I'm just not sold. The rotation's always so terrible, dude. Dean
Well,
Kramer, like I actually like him as like a number 5 starter.
yeah,
Dude, after the All Star break, that dude is always like lights out every single year. You know, throw
he's
a
a
random like complete game once a year.
he's a very consistent 4 ERA back of the rotation every single year. Like he had a really like under the radar, pretty decent year last year.
Yeah,
Um,
like what is that?
like what is that?
Makes you
It
wonder.
it just you just don't want to move him up to it like the middle of the rotation if like that's what you're. My fear is that they're gonna like overpay for somebody just because they feel like they have to. It's like when they
Zach Gallen.
overpaid for. Yeah, Zach Gallen is the number one. Can you just picture them signing him for like 100+ mil?
It'll be like Ubaldo Jimenez
I
2.0.
was just about to say when they felt the need to go get a starter that off season, they give us Ubaldo. Um, I very clearly like I can picture it now. Like they finally listened to all the outrage, all the fans being like, "Spend money, damn it! Like we need pitching." And they're like, "You want pitching? Here's pitching. Here's Zach Gallen. He's gonna have a 5 ERA. Enjoy."
Well, they got to get a left. We have no. Cade Povich is terrible. Completely out on him. Terrible. Walks like 4 dudes a game. Terrible. Can't make it out of the 4th inning half the time. Go get Framber Valdez. Dude's a horse. Just go get him.
They
So
got to
what if
spend
he
money.
so what if he beams his own catcher with fastballs? Like, just go get him.
That was funny. They got to spend. They have to spend money. Like they have enough has come off the books. They have the needs in these spots where they're like pitching is pretty deep this year in the free agent pool. You got it. Like this is the most clear sign that they're gonna go out and get somebody. Also, Taylor Ward was not cheap, by the way. Like he's making 13 mil for a year. That's like not cheap money, but like that's pretty good
No.
for.
If they don't go get, and it's the shitty thing is like it's not just we have no bullpen anymore. We have
That's
nobody.
another thing. No bullpen.
Nobody. Like we're gonna have to sign a lot of dudes to field a serviceable bullpen.
Yeah, that's I
So
didn't even think about that. That's a lot of money that's going to be committed. Although bullpen is relatively cheap to put together.
and there's some interesting options out there for the pen. Like we're gonna need a closer because Bautista is
Pete,
hurt. You could trade or well sign Pete.
sign Pete.
Um, Devin Williams is going to be out there for super cheap. Had 1 bad year. Like he could bounce back. Who knows? They got to do something. If they don't do something, the fans are going to revolt.
I completely agree. So I think all in all, I think this one, I think I've come around to this trade and I understand it from the O's perspective. And I'm more accepting of it. But I think it is very like, okay, now you have to go. Like, if you don't do things after this, I will revise my take and become more like outrage.
Another interesting thing too, like I feel like you never see the Orioles getting stuff done early in the free agency
Mm,
period. So I feel like this is a good sign of like there's probably definitely going to be some more stuff to come.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
they
have to,
ne-
dude.
they never do stuff this early, so that's got me optimistic.
Because when did they trade for Burns? Wasn't that like wasn't that January?
Yeah, I want to say it was late.
Yeah, it felt late in the off season.